Hello, welcome to the Functions of Word. So this video is simply going to be a start on a series of videos which will just go through all the different functions of Word and help you learn how to use them and where to use them. So first, let's start with the header bar. The header bar is this bar you see right here. Sometimes it can be blue, sometimes it can have a different background. It depends on what you did. But in this case, mine is blue. It has some of these simple functions that you can see right now. Autosave, save, undo, redo, the title, the search function, over here should be a name, I've covered it up, and a bunch of other things that you know, close, maximize, minimize, and the ribbon thing. So we're going to start with the first, we're just going to go through a few of the functions. As you see here, there's this button right here. This shows a whole bunch of other things you can do, but these are more like a quick, a shortcut. Just a quick button that you can press that can let you get to it versus say going through one of these tabs to get to it. So these will be talked about. They just won't be talked about as part of the header bar. Now autosave is self-explanatory. How autosave works is that it will automatically save your file to OneDrive if you've logged in. Obviously, if you're using, Word 365, you're logged in. Or if you're using Word Online, you're logged in and it's automatically to save history. I would show you an example, but Word has this really bad habit of as soon as you do that, of not allowing you to undo that. So you won't really see an example, but of me actually just saving it. But it does work. I've tested it before. And if you want to test it on your own PC, there's a few shortcuts. One of these shortcuts is Alt-1. And by clicking Alt-1, it will let you set up your email, blah, 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 and do it. Just click it, and it will upload, and now it will start saving to the cloud. And it will keep multiple copies of it as a form of history. Also, as you can see from here, I use Alt+1. So, just to make sure, so from this point forward, whenever I show you something like Alt+1, it basically means I'm saying press this key press the key 1, and then press the key 2. And it'll be represented like this. So if I say Alt+1, I'm saying press the key Alt, and then press the key 2. You don't need to press them at the same time, but you have to press them consecutively. Now we're moving on to save. This is safe, this is self-explanatory. This will just automatically save your program. You click Control S, I make a change. Click Control S, you see the saving happen, save to this PC. Control S, we all know it. In this case, you can see I've used a different convention where I'm using in parentheses. When you see that, basically what I'm saying is you need to press these at the same time. So if you just press Control, then S, it's not going to do anything. It's not going to save. But if you press Control S, space Control S, then it's going to actually save. However, there is another way of saving, and that is Alt-2. Why would you want to use Alt-2? Well, as you can see right here, maybe you have a handicap. Something that prevents your fingers from moving in the right way that lets you press Control S. Or maybe, you just happen to be in the Alt position, and so you just want to you don't feel like moving your hand and go to Control S. So I'm going to make a change. And you can see I've lost the save to PC, and then I click Alt and 2. And you can see that it's now saved. And I forgot. Even when you don't have parentheses, you can press them at the same time. You just aren't required to do them at the same time. You're required to do them consecutively. So I must press Alt, then press 2 to save. But Control S requires that they're both pushed at the same time. Now I'm moving to the undo button, and you can already see a whole bunch of little changes already made. Whenever you press this button, it will let you reverse the changes you made to this document, since you've opened it or since you've created it. So as you can see, I've already created this document, so I can't just turn it into an empty page. Instead, I'm kind of stuck with what I have here. But I can go, but all those changes I made, like, I can make a new change. So a couple spaces, put an S, more spaces, and I can undo that. I can say, I know what, but as you can see, I've just made this change. But what I can do is I can say, I don't like this. I want to go back to how it was before. And now the document is how it is when it was just open. Had you just created this document, you could go back even farther. Go back several paragraphs, go back several sentences, and let me just set this up to let you see. Where if you press this little arrow right here, right next to the undo button, it will show you everything you did. In this case, just saying typing because I press space, so you see like a little space. If I typed in a sentence like, I don't know, I like cupcakes, it'll let me, you can go back and you'll see it, and it'll show you that I typed I like cupcakes, and let me say, you know what, I don't like cupcakes, and I just kind of click that and just get rid of it because I don't like cupcakes, and that's OneDrive, and that's that's kind of how undo works. If you want a more rigorous, if you want more versions, if you want to, see how your files change and see all the different versions and make sure you can go back very far, once again, I'll recommend you go back to the autosave. You click the on button, you click it, you click on your email. It will then upload your file to, your OneDrive. And then from this point forward, it will be saving copies of it. And when you press this button right here, we'll come to this later, but when you press it, it'll let you click this button right here called version history, and it will show you different versions of your file. Okay, now we're going, oh yeah, and the shortcuts for undo is, obviously Control Z or non-consecutively Alt plus 3. Control, yeah. I really need to create like a way of saying these conventions instead of saying Control plus Z parentheses and Alt plus 3. I'll probably just use Alt 3 non-consecutive, Control Z consecutive. Yeah. Simultaneously. Yeah. Okay, yeah. So yeah, parentheses means simultaneously. No parentheses means consecutively. Redo is just like undo, except it reverses the effects of undo. Now, there isn't really much to talk about. It works basically the exact same way. So let me just undo my I like cupcakes. Do I not have that there? I guess I went too far. You see, that's why you need revision history. I like cupcakes. Not. And I will undo. And if I go to my redo button, which you can see has changed because it sees me go back, I must have misread that. So you can't actually see your redos. You can only see your undos. And you can tell redo is active because it turns into a backwards undo until you go all the way to the end of redo, and then it turns into this weird circle. And similar to undo, it has its own set of shortcuts. In this case, you have a simultaneous Control plus Y or a consecutive Alt plus 4. Now we're moving on to the tab bar. The tab bar is basically everything, is basically this right here. This control your tabs. You should be used to them if you ever use Google Chrome, or not even Google Chrome, just any modern browser. I'm so old, I can remember when tabs started coming in to the mainstream. And you can see how we have all these different tabs: designs, layout, references. And we're just going to go through, just like couple. We're not going to go through all of them because, they kind of become self-explanatory as you go through. So right now you have the home bar, which is what we're looking at. Basically, the home bar contains a bunch of just functions you're going to use very often. We're going to go into greater detail in the next video where we'll be specifically talking about home and all the functions and all the different functions of the home tab. Potentially, maybe each one will get their own video because, you can see there's a lot of functionality to the home tab, to each tab within each tab. But basically, the tab bar just contains several tabs that each contain functionally to a certain task. I don't even know why I said it. And we'll go into greater detail, but for now, what you need to know is the home tab will contain everything you need to know about just what's going on, why does it keep jumping up? It has uh, it has several functions that are just commonly used. It's just common stuff, paste, copy and paste your font color, how you want your paragraph to go. As you can see right here with my bars, what type of style do I want to give something? It has all these little features that don't really kind of fit in perfectly to any one of these things because they all kind of do a kind of combination of both, a lot of different things, but they're just useful to have right in front of you. Some of them, even though some of them could really be put into any of these bars, they're common enough that you probably want it right in front of you. Then you have insert. Insert is mostly about not just inserting external content, but kind of just inserting whatever. But usually, usually it's content that you kind of want. You want Word to generate for you or maintain for you. Cover pages, page breaks, tables. You can see draw, self-explanatory. It just lets you draw on it. Just do some drawing. And, this is my self-portrait, I guess. Design controls the whole, it lets you, design is pretty useful. It lets you perform document level changes. As you can see, I can just press this and I can start changing colors around. It basically affects your entire document. It's very useful. And then you have layout. Same thing. It lets you, it changes the layout of the document. Like I could change the margins. So I can change how, okay, it's going super, oh, I think I froze myself. Yep, I froze myself, but let's see if it recovers. Well, we're near the end, so it doesn't matter. But when it's not freezing itself, what you would have seen happen is everything would have moved to the side because I would have expanded the borders and would have allowed I would have allowed the text to reflow. Give me a second to restart this program. Wow, this all had to happen at the same time. Nah. So let me press it one more time. Let's see if it doesn't kill itself this time. Narrow. Okay, now you see it. I click narrow. It made a document level change. And now everything is closer to the edges of the page than before. Now I'm going to turn it back to normal because that's how I built this, with normal in mind. And you can now see that, the entire document changed. And you can do a whole bunch of different things. You can do columns, if you want to. But, we'll go into more detail later when we get to the layout video. And, you see references. It's everything you need to know. It's everything you need to make references, mailing, how to mail stuff, review, all this, just all these different things. View, and help. You can kind of figure out what they mean. Review is about all the functions related to reviewing what you've done. And view is just related to how you want to look at it. Like if I want to look at like a web page, this is how it would look like on a web page. Or if I was reading it like a book. Or, let me escape from that. Or just how this, or you can see the basic one, which is print layout. If we print this, what is this going to look at? Which is probably what 99% of it's going to look like to you. And anyway, I hope this, and the ribbon. Yeah, I kind of already explained it. Tabs brings you to different ribbons, and ribbons contains all the functions related to the tab. Wow. And this, I guess, is a little extra thing, as I put. I don't know what extra. If you press Alt, it's just going to show you how to all the little shortcuts you can use consecutively. So no parentheses. So if I press Alt F, I'll go to the File tab. Alt Y if I want to go to the Help tab. I guess I'll try one of these. Let's try Alt N. Oh, wow. I didn't even know this myself. And if you press it, it'll let you even go into each of the separate functions. Oh, and it's quite a doozy. I'll let you explore that. This isn't about shortcuts. This is about functions. But if you want to go deeper, just keep pressing Alt and never forget. Worst case scenario, undo. Just keep clicking undo until you get back to where you started. Just make sure you do not save. And I'm going to save. Anyway, thanks. Hope you enjoyed it. Bye.